Lithuanians' civilization. Strengths. Their additional 100 food at the beginning allows them to get into the feudal age much earlier than other civilizations or gives them a buffer of 2 villagers. This makes their start very flexible and very reliable and gives them a number of strategies other civilizations cannot do, such as building a dock much faster than normal. The Lithuanians' defenses are also very potent. This, combined with their faster skirmishers and spearmen, allows them to perform Dark Age or Feudal Age rushes more effectively than other civilizations. Their skirmishers and spearmen line units have plus 10% movement speed, allowing them to better pursue their targets. Additionally, tower shields gives both of these an extra 2 pierce armor, which for their skirmishers in particular makes them extremely good at taking down archers. Hill forts increases the range of their town centers by 3, allowing them to fire back at ranged units like the crossbowmen and mangonel. They also have almost all the relevant defensive technologies, except for arrow slits. As cavalry get plus 1 attack for each garrisoned relic, maximum plus 4 attack, they can become a devastating force if the player has at least 2 or 3 of them, considering they also have almost all improvements for paladins, except Blast Furnace, and Leitis, a relatively cheap cavalry unit whose already high attack ignores armor. Finally, their team bonus lets monasteries work 20% faster, enabling them and their teammates to rapidly create monks for converting, as well as having all monastery technologies. Weaknesses. Aside from the bombard cannon, their siege workshop is mediocre, lacking siege onagers, siege rams and heavy scorpions. They also lack siege engineers, so for taking down buildings, they must sometimes rely on cavalry. They lack plate mail armor, supplies, blast furnace, and gambesons. This means that, despite their pikemen getting plus 2 pierce out of tower shields, their halberdiers in the Imperial Age are average at best, and their champions are poor. Strategy. The Lithuanians have a powerful early game, since their 100 extra food allows for fast feudal age times while enabling their villagers to focus on other resources early on. A scout rush should be considered strongly for this reason, considering that those 100 extra food at the beginning can be invested in almost 2 extra scouts, but they may also intend a spearman and skirmisher push, as both units move faster. Their 100 extra food may also enable them to perform a strong Dark Age rush with militia as early as 4 minutes in random map games. For this, the player must make a barracks and a house as soon as the game starts, send a villager to start gathering wood for the second house, the other 2 go to food as usual, and then make 2 militia. This unique rapid rush ensures that opponents will not be able to defend themselves adequately while also allowing the Lithuanians to build their economy without major slowdown. Another strategy that should be considered is a fast castle followed by a Knight or Leitis rush. Their 100 extra food and their attack bonus makes up for this. In this case, the player should take their Dark Age normally, advancing at 22 population, and save the extra food for the Castle Age upgrade, while also saving at 200 gold, preferably 300, for making monks, which will be used for converting, healing, and collecting relics. Once in the Castle Age, Lithuanians should strike with Knights and Leitis and focus on the search for relics with their monks. If the player gets lucky and claims 4 relics, they will get the upper hand, since their cavalry will surpass even the attack of Malian cavalry with Farimba, but even with just 1 relic, a night rush with Lithuanians is very strong. One consideration the player must have in mind is that their opponents will likely also try to get the relics in order to negate the Lithuanian bonus attack for cavalry. Of course, the player must also research the blacksmith technologies in order to get the most attack possible for their cavalry. In any case, their cavalry rushes can also be supported with their faster skirmishers in order to counter archers and the aforementioned monks. Since their monastery works faster, a monk rush may also be considered, and their crossbowmen are also a viable option, especially to mix up an opponent expecting knights. Defensively speaking, their faster-moving skirmishers can outrun archers, which makes them great at disabling any enemy archers. Their unique technology hill forts will make enemy raids on the Lithuanian settlements more difficult, as it allows their town centers to outrange mangonels and have the same range of any standard onager or siege onager with siege engineers. In the Imperial Age, they must keep raiding with cavalry and may considering adding gunpowder units to their ranks. Once the gold runs out, especially in single games, they have little to worry about in trash wars, since they have faster halberdiers and skirmishers, strengthening them for late-game trash raids. Their winged hussars are also above average. On water, their food bonus also allows them to create a dock and gather wood much earlier than normal, as the extra food gives them a buffer to delay needing villagers on food. This means they have a very strong head start both economically and militarily on water. While they don't have any naval bonus outside this, their head start makes them great on mixed maps. Patch changes. In Update 34055, the changes to Lithuanians include the maximum attack gained from each garrisoned relic reduced from +5 to +4. This is because with all technologies, Lithuanian paladins could reach 23 attack, one less attack than the elite war elephant, not only being the best paladins by far, but also able to kill halberdiers in 3 hits instead of 4, arbalesters in 2 hits instead of 3 hits, and also winning against heavy camel riders, killing in 7 hits while heavy camel riders needed 8. This made Lithuanian paladins too well-rounded and perhaps the most effective unit in the game, and putting Lithuanians in a problematic spot for team games because other players normally give all found relics to the Lithuanian player, thus giving to the team a massive advantage, and making the Leitis overall looking like a downgrade to the Knight line. Their paladins remained at a strong point at 22 attack with 4 relics collected, being able to kill villagers in 2 hits and still killing arbalesters without ring archer armor in 2 hits and halberdiers without plate mail armor in 3 hits. Another unit that largely benefited from this bonus was the Hussar, and the other change removed the relic bonus from affecting Light Cavalry, discouraging players to also just produce and abuse Hussars with potentially the highest attack among trash units, up to 16 attack. In conjunction with their already strong halberdiers and skirmishers, this made the Lithuanians extremely hard to deal in trash wars. After the change, their trash units remained among the strongest. In Update 36906, the cost and training time of the Leitis was significantly changed. They now cost 70 food and 50 gold, and the training time was reduced to 20 for standard and 18 for elite, which now makes them much easier to use in large numbers and much better as an alternative to the Knight. The Tower Shield's technology also had its food cost reduced to 500 and now grants +2 pierce armor instead of +1 pierce armor. While it only makes their halberdiers average against archers, their skirmishers can get 10 pierce armor, and with a Vietnamese ally, the Imperial Skirmisher gets 11 pierce armor, making them among the units with the toughest resistance against archers. In Update 37650, along with other civilizations, the Lithuanians lost access to supplies, possibly to prevent them from having an effective unit against trash units even when they lack plate mail armor, since they already have solid spearmen and skirmishers, and to compensate for their extra food at the start of the game. In Update 42848, the pierce armor of both standard and elite Leitis was reduced to 1, which makes them more prone to ranged attacks. However, Lithuanians can freely use paladins and skirmishers to take down archers while the Leitis performance against melee units is unchanged, which makes Leitis more specialized. Alliances. In team games, Lithuanian players should be better positioned in the flank position. As this civilization can perform early raids on the opponents, but if not, they may also work in the pocket position and try a fast castle. Their team bonus has great synergy with an ally that has strong monks. They pair best with a civilization with strong ranged options. Aztecs. The Lithuanian team bonus has clear synergy with the Aztecs' bulkier monks, and the Aztec bonus is helpful for the Lithuanian relic bonus. The Lithuanians have the gunpowder cavalry, and anti-cavalry halberdiers the Aztecs lack, while the Aztecs have the heavy infantry and siege options the Lithuanians do not have. Armenians, while their actual team bonus, +2 infantry line of sight, is of limited utility, the Armenians' free relic accompanying their first fortified church is of immense help, as it can then be transferred to the Lithuanians for a guaranteed +1 Knight/Leitis attack, and the Lithuanian team bonus is likewise useful to the Armenians. who have a full religious tech tree and access to the warrior priest. Bohemians. The Lithuanian monastery boost will aid the Bohemian player in training their monks, and the Bohemians bonus will give the Lithuanians a better trade economy. The Lithuanians cavalry pairs well with the Bohemians Hofnice. Burmese. The Burmese team bonus reveals all of the relics on the map, making collection easier. The Burmese benefit from the alliance as they already have a 50% gold discount on all of their monastery technologies. Berbers. The Genitor is an excellent addition to the Lithuanian cavalry army, as it can provide protection from spearman line units while having the mobility to keep up, in addition to benefiting from tower shields. The Berber Kasbah also helps in massing Laiciae. Hindus Tanis. Their team bonus bolsters the Lithuanians' winged hussars with +2 damage against buildings, as well as offering great ranged support with superior gunpowder units. Huns. The Huns' faster working stables helps the Lithuanians' mass melee cavalry, and their cheaper cavalry archers work well in tandem with any mounted army. Vietnamese. The Imperial Skirmisher benefits from tower shields and the Skirmisher speed boost, posing a truly formidable threat to enemy archers. Advantages vs other civilizations. The Leitis is a relatively inexpensive cavalry unit, with stats similar to a knight, whose high attack ignores armor. It is capable of taking down powerful melee units, even those with high melee armor. Civilizations with poor early and / or mid-game may have trouble against an early Lithuanian rush, thanks to the initial 100 extra food and their faster-moving skirmishers and spearmen. As they have overall good cavalry that increase their attack per relic garrisoned, they get an advantage against civilizations that lack proper counters to cavalry, or that lack proper defense, since their cavalry can deal enough damage to take down non-defensive buildings with ease. The increased attack puts the Lithuanian cavalry supreme over other prominent cavalry civilizations. Since their skirmishers are faster and have, along with spearmen, +2 pierce armor out of tower shields, they have a good advantage against archer-based civilizations. Since their town centers get +3 range out of hill forts and have most defensive technologies, they have an advantage against civilizations that have poor siege or that lack a proper anti-building unit. Their monasteries work faster, which is advantageous against civilizations that rely on expensive units, such as the battle elephant and the paladin. The Lithuanians have access to almost all dock units and technologies, a large boost in the early game off of their extra food, so they are also able to perform a galley rush against civilizations with poor early navy. They are great in trash wars, since they have access to winged hussar, and their skirmishers and halberdiers move faster, so civilizations that have poor trash units, like the Turks, or civilizations that doesn't have access to the champion, the typical trash buster, like the Persians, may struggle in the late game against Lithuanians. Disadvantages vs other civilizations. Despite the attack quirk the Leitis have, it is still vulnerable to all the regular counters any cavalry has. They also will lose against battle elephants in pitched battles thanks to their trample damage and high HP. Their low pierce armor makes them vulnerable against large groups of foot archers, cavalry archers, and even gunpowder units, giving an advantage to civilizations with good foot archers and good cavalry archers. Lithuanian siege units, apart from their bombard cannons, are mediocre, so civilizations they can struggle to counter massed units. Regarding naval warfare, they fare poorly against any naval specialized civilization, since they lack heavy demolition ship and shipwright while also not having any naval bonus. Situational advantages. As the Lithuanians improve the attack of cavalry with relics, they are at advantage in maps that have more than the typical 5 relics, like Holy Line, since they have a much better chance of maximizing their cavalry attack. If playing in explored or revealed maps, they can easily go out and take the relics if their opponents are careless. In nomad maps, if starting at Imperial Age onwards, they have an advantage, since hill forts will be already researched, letting them, if they find an opponent's town center, to perform a town center rush. Also, in the map Budapest, hill forts is a crucial improvement for defense, as every player starts with 2 town centers. Hill forts is also a highly valuable technology in sudden death mode, since every player is limited to 1 town center and they lose if it is destroyed. They are considered to be a strong civilization in maps like Arena, but they are also powerful in open maps like Arabia, in both cases because of their initial extra food and the raiding capabilities of their cavalry. Their work speed of monasteries and their extra food, which can be turned into 2 light cavalry, make them a good pick in the Capture the Relic game mode. Since update 81058, the Lithuanians have an advantage in maps where they start with multiple town centers, i.e. Budapest, as they gain additional food for every town center they start out with. Thank you for watching the video. Please give me a like or follow me so I have the motivation to create more new videos. Chanel Jahamvwi thanks you very much.